I never got home because they had brought my computer with me after I saw you.
Afternoon. We have been having a grand time waiting to let you all watch this meeting, Capital Investment Committee meeting for Thursday, October 22nd. Bear with me while I read some very important information that explains why we are on the screen and not on a large screen. Capital Investment Committee meeting will limit physical access in the meeting room due to current limitations on public gatherings. Accommodations have been made to ensure that the public is able to participate in the meeting. The public may participate in the following ways: watch the meeting on Franklin TV or the City of Franklin website, watch the live stream through the City of Franklin Facebook and YouTube accounts, or call in to the conference meeting. And I am required to give you the number, 1-312-626-6799, meeting ID 967-9940-6643. Passcode is 772184. I doubt that you remembered that, so if you need that information, you can find it at franklintn.gov on our agenda. Callers will be unmuted and given an opportunity to comment during the meeting at specific times. Limited viewing will be available in the lobby of City Hall to watch the live video and make public comment. The public may email comments and questions prior to 2:30 today, so you've missed that window, to recorder@franklintn.gov to be read aloud. You may also make live comments on the Facebook feed, and emails and live comments are limited to 2 minutes. I will call the meeting to order and begin with item number 1, consideration of resolution 2020-203, a resolution declaring... Oh, yes, I'm still getting used to this. All right. Let me know if you're here. Alderman Martin. Alderman McClendon. Alderman Berger.
Present.
And I am here as well. Back to item number 1. Thank you, Angie. Consideration of a resolution 2020-203, a resolution declaring that the Capital Investment Committee shall meet on October 22nd, 2020 and conduct its essential business by electronic means rather than being required to gather a quorum of the members physically present in the same location because it is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. And I do need a motion.
Move approval.
We'll give Dana the first and Bev the second. Roll call vote. Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
Bev.
Yes.
I also vote yes. Passes unanimously. Item number 2 is approval of minutes. Consideration of approval of minutes of the September 24th, 2020 Capital Investment Committee meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
First from Margaret, second from Bev. Margaret, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. All right, new business. Consideration of draft City of Franklin contract number 2020-0280 PSA with Hazen and Sawyer for the development of a distribution system optimization study. Michelle. We can't hear you, honey. There you go.
Got it. Earlier this year, the city was entered into a director's order with TDEC regarding some of the disinfection byproduct violations that we had been having in our distribution system. So this is a contract with a consulting firm who can help us work through some of those issues. Hazen and Sawyer is calibrating our water model in addition to doing some of our in addition to doing the raw water reservoir management plan at the water plant, to kind of have a holistic approach on our water quality in the distribution system. So this is to help us aid in doing that. We're going to work through some of that and then have the plan developed by December of this year.
All right, may I have a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Second, Alderman Berger. First from Dana. Anybody have any questions or comments? All right, roll call vote. Margaret?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Passes unanimously. Item number 4, consideration of draft amendment 1 to City of Franklin contract number 2018-0023 with CDM Smith Inc. for the reclaimed water model.
So this is an amendment to their initial contract we had with identifying some of the problems we've had with pushing reclaimed water down to the Berry Farms in the southeast area. We developed in 2018 a reclaimed water model, and what that does is it models all of the conditions in our distribution system. This is an amendment to allow for some just ongoing support of that. There's some training that we want to have to be able to take over the calibration of the reclaimed water model from CDM. And this will kind of further those operations.
Awesome. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
First from
Second.
Dana, second from Margaret. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Margaret, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Passes unanimously. Item number 5, consideration of draft City of Franklin contract number 2020-0275 with Hazen and Sawyer, a professional services agreement for the development of a long-term raw water reservoir management plan.
So the board had approved, y'all had approved a smaller professional services agreement earlier this year to start some of the sampling during the warm weather. For the lake, we have the raw water reservoir that we use to feed the water plant. So because of the drought and some of the changing water conditions that we've been seeing lately because of the different variations, we want to be a little bit careful in how we operate the membranes in our new water plant. So this is to help us manage, a study to help us manage kind of some of the chemical addition and some of the water quality that we see in the reservoir.
So I guess I need a motion before I ask a question.
Move
Sorry.
approval.
Okay, Dana first.
Second with question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Margaret.
How much is this? What's the cost of this?
This is $160,000.
Mm.
And so this is to provide for part of the smaller PSA that was approved earlier this year was to kind of give us some guidance toward collecting some additional water quality samples. We purchased a new piece of equipment that measures the stratification in the lake, in the reservoir that we have right now. And what this is with kind of some of the scientists and the engineers at Hazen to allow us to kind of look at that and how the water quality changes seasonally. So as we get colder weather, we have different water quality characteristics that change from warmer weather, that change to drought, and how we can better manage those to understand the chemical addition that's needed to go to the membranes before they enter the membrane treatment.
Is this more than just a one-term, 1 year look at it? That seems like that's a lot of money for just looking at it.
Well, we do intend for this we're constantly, the piece of equipment, the Xylem hydrosphere that we've installed in the lake is constantly collecting water quality data. So what that do is it'll start trending, and this will be to analyze those trends over the seasonal variations. So this isn't just done in 1 year. This will be kind of like an ongoing study that will help us.
Okay. All right.
Was this already in the budget, Michelle?
Yes. In our water plant operations budget, yes.
I think my question initially was, and I think you kind of cleared it up because it's a long-term look-see, if you will. When you mentioned drought, I'm like, I know we hadn't had any rain in a while, but we didn't have a drought this summer. But
No, not this summer. So this was in previous years. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. So I was like, wait a minute. Now I still have tomatoes blooming. So, and I haven't put water on them in a long time. So
Right.
that's where I was going on. Drought? What? I'm confused. So, all right. Any more discussion or questions? All right. Margaret, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes. See, I also save time by calling everybody by their first name. It's a lot quicker to say. Item number 6, consideration of draft amendment 1 to City of Franklin contract number 2020-0140 with Revere Control Systems, Inc. to provide licensing services for, trihedral SCADA software. Michelle?
So as part of the SCADA, the upgrade to the SCADA system that was completed in 2018, we upgraded to a singular platform. VT SCADA by Trihedral is the manufacturer. This is the same SCADA platform that's at the water plant, that's in the collection and distribution system. That will be the same platform at the wastewater plant. And so what this is it's allowing us to buy multiple licenses. So as part of those contracts, we bought a handful of individual licenses to get the contract on board. This will allow us to kind of integrate between all of those facilities. So I can sit here at my computer and look at all the different, and have a license to look at all the different operations. In addition to all of the people in the, all of our operators in the field will have that same capability.
I
All
move
right.
for approval.
Thank you, Bev.
Second.
All right. Second from Dana. Any questions or discussion?
And,
All right. Margaret?
and just how much is this one?
This one is
14.
17,000, which is the cost of the license. And we have it split over all of our different funds. So it is within our budget.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You got that question before it was asked. All right. Roll call vote, starting with Margaret. How do you vote? Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Passes unanimously. Item number 7, consideration of draft amendment 3 to City of Franklin contract number 2011-0076 with Smith Seckman Reed Inc. for the Machatcher Northwest Utility Relocation Project in an amount not to exceed $19,980.
So this is an professional services agreement in relation to the Machatcher, and Paul, I may need your help on this one, the northeast part of the extension of Machatcher. So SSR had performed some of the water or the utility relocations and alignments. And so this professional services agreement is a continuation of that. There was some conflicts with a water line on Del Rio that this is addressing. SSR had done some previous work, in addition to any other questions that come up during the construction process.
I have a question.
Let's go ahead and get a motion real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay, move for approval.
Thank you, Bev. Second, someone?
Second.
Thank you, Dana. Go ahead, Bev.
So it's $19,980, and this is it's not included in the current budget. So where's the money coming from for this?
It's coming from our general fund, our impact fees that are paid for the expansion of our system related to capacity concerns.
So through the impact fees
Yes.
that come into our fund for that?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to know. Thanks.
Any other questions? All right, roll call vote, starting with Margaret.
I recuse myself.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, so it passes 3 with 1 recusal. I think I said that right. 3, yeah, okay. Item number 8, sorry. Consideration of City of Franklin contract number 2020-0273, a professional services agreement with Gresham Smith to provide utility asset management consulting services.
So this was a budgeted contract that we wanted to have at the beginning of this year. And then we kind of put it on hold as we've been staying afloat with some of our other operations. So this is with Gresham to create a pairwise model for us to allow us to take some of the collection system assessment data that we've already collected through the SLRAD and through our TV data that we have, and to compile that into a database that will allow us to determine some, with other factors like criticality and redundancy, allow us to assign numerical values to each of our assets. And then that will kind of help us prioritize a replacement cost. So this with Gresham Smith is to help us create that database and to be able to create the values for importing all of the data that we have. And then we would and take this database over and use this for the future of evaluation of our system.
Once that database is provided, that's ours.
Yes.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, first Bev, second Margaret. Michelle, I just want to say that I really appreciate that you're not reading from a script, that you know your stuff, even though you say words we don't understand. It is a part of you. So it's almost like your version of layman's terms. So quite impressive. But you don't say, what is your word, Mark? Processes?
She does say it. She's just been trained not to
Oh.
say it in this forum.
Oh, understood. All right. Any?
If I'm saying something you don't understand, please let me know and I'll move
Oh
on.
no, it's your, water words that we don't really have to understand, but you frame it so that we get all the other stuff.
Okay.
So, okay, Dana, stop it. All right, roll call vote. Anybody have any questions? All right, roll call vote. Margaret,
Yes.
Dana. What is that, Dana? Yes or no? We're going to go yes.
I said yes.
I didn't hear you, Bev.
Yes.
And I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 9, consideration of draft amendment 2 to City of Franklin contract 2016-0152 with CDM Smith for additional wet weather calibration for the hydraulic model and modeling technical assistance. Michelle, again, I think this is your end.
This is my last one and I'll give it to Paul. So,
Okay.
so this is an amendment to the contract we have with CDM Smith for the hydraulic model for the collection system. So every 2 years, so we have flow monitors throughout our system. We have 17 right now, and they measure the flow, the wastewater flow in all of the pipes. Every 2 years, we put in what we call temporary monitors in additional locations during the winter months to see the impact that rainfall has on our wastewater. And so what this is once we have that data, we then usually in the past we've had CDM incorporate that data into the model, which then allows us to kind of look at if we need to reprioritize any of the budgeting we have, if we need to look at kind of the infiltration and inflow in those areas, in specific areas. So this is something we've done in the past. We do it every 2 years. Yes, Brandy.
No, you're fine. I'm trying to fix something.
Oh, okay. In 2016 was the initial modeling contract, and then we did a recalibration in 2018. In December of 19 into the first couple of months of 2020, we had our wet weather monitors in. So we'll look at recalibrating that into existing conditions with all the new development and new additional sewer infrastructure that's been added. And then we'll have a more complete view of our collection system.
Got it. Oh my goodness. All right, may I have a first?
Move approval.
Second.
All right, Alderman Martin, second. Any questions or discussion? All right, roll call vote. Margaret,
Yes.
Dana,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
passes unanimously. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, item number 10, consideration of City of Franklin contract 2020-0112, a local agency project agreement with the Tennessee Department of Transportation for the construction of State Route 96 bridge over Harpeth River. I don't know what LM 10.74 is, but
That's linear mileage. That's just how TDOT lists their projects. And if you'll remember, TDOT in their 3-year plan is proposed to replace this bridge over the Harpeth River. During discussions with TDOT, we've asked them to provide wider sidewalks on the bridge, wider than their standard 5-foot sidewalks. We asked them to go to a 10-foot sidewalk on the bridge because of the ped traffic in the downtown area and giving us more options in the future. We also asked them to put enhanced street lights on the bridge that would match our downtown streetscape. And so right now we've estimated with TDOT's assistance that the city share being around $593,200. And as part of TDOT processes, we have to enter into this agreement.
bingo, you said processes.
Yep.
All right, my screen is messed up, so I apologize if I see Paul and Bev, and that's it. All right, may I have a motion for item number 10?
Move for approval.
Second.
Wow, that was,
Just pick one.
we're going to go Bev for first, Margaret for second. All right, any questions?
Our portion of that's $593.2. I thought that was pretty good, actually. But I do have a question, Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there room enough for a 10-foot sidewalk and those 3 lanes? Or are we only doing 2 lanes across the bridge and then third lane? Turn lane.
Jonathan can jump in if I say this incorrectly, but I think today there's 4 lanes across it, but we're actually going to narrow the bridge down to 3, and then they're putting a shoulder on it. TDOT generally will put a shoulder, but our cost is only the additional cost for the sidewalk and the enhanced cost for the street lights.
Okay, thanks.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, roll call vote, starting with Margaret.
Yes.
Dana?
Yep.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 11, consideration of City of Franklin contract 2020-0265, a proposal with TDOT regarding TDOT road construction project State Route 6, which is Franklin Road, from south of State Route 441 Moores Lane to State Route 253 Concord Road.
This is a standard TDOT agreement that we have to enter into anytime they build a road in the city of Franklin that outlines maintenance responsibilities of what they're willing to maintain and what their expectation is of the locals. And so we recommend approval of this.
I move for approval.
All right,
Second.
second from Margaret. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote, starting with Margaret.
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 12, consideration of ordinance 2020-27, an ordinance to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles per hour upon all streets in the Claremont subdivision.
So this was a request we received from the HOA. They initially wanted traffic calming, but they did not qualify for traffic calming. They asked if they could reduce the speed limit. Our street standards do allow them to go down to 20 miles per hour on these type of roadways. We asked them to do a petition so that we could see majority in favor. They completed that petition successfully with over 51% on all of the streets. So therefore, we're recommending approval to reduce the speed limit at their request.
What was it previously?
25 miles per hour.
Well, you're saying that it reads to reduce to 20, my bad, excuse me.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did they not qualify for the traffic calming?
Adam Mosier's on. He can chime in. I believe it's because they're not through streets. It's just within that local HOA. I don't know that we even did a speed or a volume count out there. Adam, do you have anything to add on that?
No, they're all cul-de-sac streets. There's 4 streets in the neighborhood that are all cul-de-sac streets with no sidewalks. And since they didn't qualify for the criteria for the traffic calming program, they requested a speed limit reduction,
Great.
which is allowable.
All right, may I have a motion, please?
Move for approval.
Second.
Margaret, thank you, Dana. Second. Any more discussion? All right, roll call vote, starting with Margaret.
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 13, consideration of draft resolution 2020-210, a resolution to award the construction contract, City of Franklin contract 2020-0234 for the McEwen Drive I-65 ramp modifications project to Charles DeWeese Construction, Inc. in the amount of $867,309.11.
So Jonathan and the team's been working hard to deliver a lot of capital projects. This is one of them. It's within the budget. We only received 1 bid. Unfortunately, I thought we would get more than 1 bid, but 1 bid, and it's because there's a lot of different sub-consulting work. And the bid, we've analyzed it. It's all within what we would have expected it to cost based on historical costs, and we're recommending approval and excited to move that forward.
Great. May I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Beth. Thank you, Dana. Any discussion? When will this work start, Paul?
We'll have to sit down with the contractor. The concern I have with starting right away is we're approaching the winter months.
Yes.
And so one of the first things we'll do is sit down with the contractor and develop a schedule, because obviously once we get into this interchange, we want to get out of the interchange. And so we'll sit down and work on a schedule with them, and we can share that with the board once we better understand it. Because the last thing we need to do is get into doing concrete work in the middle of the winter and delay traffic.
And it will be more than likely late spring or early summer of next year. We have to order some signal poles with that as well. So we can't fully open the improvements until we have the signal poles in place anyway.
Yeah, Dana and I've been talking about starting a business because that's like the business to be in, but it hadn't happened yet, right, Dana?
Right.
All right. Roll call vote unless there's any questions. All right. Margaret, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 14, consideration of draft amendment 1 to City of Franklin contract 2019-0256, a professional services agreement with R. Rhett Turner, MAI, for review appraisal services for McEwen Drive Phase 4 project at a cost increase of, $1,800.
So not a big increase. Essentially what it is there's the Avalon Square developments down here. They're commercial tracks. When we did the scope of services, the consultant didn't realize they were commercial tracks, and we missed that on the scope of services. So they are due a little more money. The commercial tracks are a significant amount more work to actually appraise. At the end of the day, it's not a whole lot of money, but they are due some additional compensation for the commercial properties.
I move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Margaret. Any discussion or comment? All right. Margaret, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passage unanimously. Item number 15, consideration of draft City of Franklin contract 2020-0247, professional service agreement with Boozer and Company, PC, for on-call appraisal services.
If it's all right with the committee, I'm just going to talk about 15, 16, and 17 all at the same time.
Sure.
All of these contracts are essentially for on-call appraisal services, and we're constantly getting requests to, hey, we need an appraisal for that, and we need an appraisal for this on small jobs. And the on-call appraisal services allows us to better utilize them and deliver services quicker. The money would essentially have to be budgeted in our annual budget or as part of a capital improvement project. And it also would require Eric Stuckey to sign off on it to approve it before we move forward with anything. So generally speaking, when it's budgeted and approved by the board, this allows us to try to expedite some of those appraisals that we need. And happy to answer any questions.
So, Rhett, oh no, that was a different item. Okay, my bad. Does anybody have any comments or questions? We can move through these quickly.
So we just pay hourly depending on how long it takes, right? 250, 250, and 300.
Yeah, it's either an hourly rate or we would negotiate a lump sum rate. Sometimes we can get a better product if we do the lump sum route. So it's on a case-by-case basis and intended to just, help us move these things forward quicker when we need them.
Okay, so you would negotiate per project if it needed to be negotiated, right?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thanks.
All right, so let's grab a motion for item number 15 then.
I'll move for approval.
Thank you.
Second.
Second by Dana. Any discussion? We'll just go ahead and whiz through these. All right, Margaret, how do you vote on item number 15? Margaret, how do you vote on 15? Yes?
Sorry, yes.
No problem. Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
And also I vote yes on item number 15. I am going to go ahead and read item 16, and then we'll, even though Paul's already talked about it, consideration of draft City of Franklin contract 2020-0248, professional service agreement with Richard L. Maddox and Associates for on-call appraisal service.
Move for approval.
First from Bev.
Second.
Thank you, Margaret. Any discussion? All right, roll call vote, starting with Margaret. How do you vote?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Item number 17, consideration of draft City of Franklin contract number 2020-0249, a professional service agreement with R. Rhett Turner, MAI, for on-call appraisal services.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Bev.
Second.
Thank you, Dana. Any discussion? All right, Margaret, roll call vote.
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
I also vote yes, passes unanimously. Item number 18 is capital projects dashboard and status updates for October 2020. What do you have for us, Paul?
I'm going to let Jonathan take it. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Go,
Yeah, I don't know
Jonathan.
that I have any major things to provide, but I'll answer any questions you may have about your favorite project or projects.
I have a question about Jordan Road right now. Where are we with that? And what part of the process are we in?
We're waiting on the title searches right now. The right-of-way plans are completed. The utilities have been coordinated,
Oh,
and we're getting ready to start appraisal services. I think the board's already approved the appraisal contract,
Right.
but we can't start the formal offers until the title searches are done.
how
So
many
we're working with
property,
the legal department on that.
how many property owners are out there?
Oh gosh, I'd say between 6 and 8 off the top
Okay.
of my head. There's not a lot of them.
Right. Yeah, that just lets me know how long it will take. Okay. Thanks.
Margaret?
The light, the traffic signal at West Haven, please.
They have finished the final paving out there. West Haven has worked with us to help complete some of the touch-ups out there for the landscaping. We are simply waiting on delivery of the poles, and as soon as the poles are delivered, we'll finish up the project.
Do you have any idea where the poles are?
Adam can touch on this, but the last they gave us was toward the end of this month, so we should be nearing any day now to receive the poles.
They actually got delayed. The poles will be delivered in December.
Uh-oh.
Sorry about that. Their excuse was they had a machine go down at the Union Metal pole plant. So there's not much we can do about that. They sent a letter and said they're sorry, and we're waiting a couple more months.
And where were these poles to go?
I'm sorry.
Where are these
Old
poles
Charlotte.
installed?
Old Charlotte and West Haven Boulevard.
Oh, Fourth Ward.
Yes.
Oh, that explains everything.
I need you.
I'd love to know how. I know we're ahead of schedule, but Mac Hatcher, I know it's not our project, but we are involved. So what do you know about that, Jonathan?
As far as I know, they're pretty much still on schedule. They may be a little ahead of schedule, but still looking to finish up toward the end of next year.
It seems like it's making, I love driving by there and seeing that bridge. It's pretty impressive. And then I think about Dana's sidewalks that we told him he couldn't have until this was done. So I'm wondering if his sidewalks are coming soon.
They are going in. They're part of the project.
Awesome. See, I'm thinking about your people, Dana. Dana, do you have any questions? I'll hear a motion.
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote, starting with Margaret.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes.
Bev.
Yes.
I am voting yes as well. Thank you all so much. See you next time.